Welcome to Jay and Laura TV. We are Jay and Laura LaFoon here to answer your questions on marriage and relationships. And ladies, you're gonna want to listen to this one. This one is especially important.
It's a classic question.
It is classic,
asked by
and
women.
Oh my goodness, we've got a great answer for you. It's from a friend of ours, but we'll get to that in a minute. Here's the question. Here's the question. My husband is angry a lot of the time. I don't know how to handle it and just wish he could do something to deal with his anger. Let me just, before you go on, this is my own opinion. I don't have any facts for this, but I would say that most men have anger issues. Some learn how to deal with them, others don't. But deep inside, that is a key emotion that most men have to deal with.
And that's very true. And Jay's always said that to me. And as I've watched our friends, and you see it come up in different ways. But when I was reading a blog on Facebook by Shanti Feldhahn. And here's what she said. And this is the best answer I have ever seen concerning men and their anger. And here's what she said. Ladies, if you think crying when feeling unloved is an acceptable response during a relational conflict, would you be surprised to know that anger is often a man's response to feeling disrespected during relational conflict? I'm just going to pause and let that sink in for you, because that, to me, exactly, that's what it did. I'm like, well, I'm not a crier. But there are times when we are in conflict that I will get very upset to the point that I can cry. It's not a manipulative thing. It's just I'm frustrated to the point that I don't know what else to do. And this is what happens with men. This is what I hear Shanti saying.
Because I'm not an overly angry man.
No.
But there are times when it gets to that point.
But he gets very angry because it's that frustration. And a man's not going to cry. And yes, women will scream and yell, but then it goes to crying after that. So we're expressing the same emotion of frustration or feeling disrespected or feeling not heard. We just express it differently according to our gender.
There's this tension inside of every one of us. And the tension comes from the fact that we know stuff intuitively that we cannot get out responsively. You know what I'm saying? I know intuitively what's wrong. I know that I'm not happy with this situation, but I can't express it to you in a way that you understand, because I'm a man and you're a woman, and the more that builds, the more men get angry and the more women cry.
So with this question, my husband is angry a lot of the time, then he is feeling unheard, unloved, and disrespected. That's the way I would take what Shanti said and putting it to this question. So now, ma'am, who asked this question, you have to go back and look and say, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Or what is it the kids are doing? Or maybe it's at work he's feeling disrespected.
We had a perfect example last night of a friend of ours who is, you could see the anger in his face because his boss is just creating a work environment that's awful. So it might not be your relationship. It might be an outside influence. It might be that he got passed over for a raise, or that he's not climbing the ladder as fast as he'd like.
Or he's in a job he has no passion for.
Right. So understand that the anger is that same, the anger in your husband is the same type of emotion as crying in you. And then just ask him, honey, what makes you angry? I want to help you not get angry. So what makes you angry? Do it, classic Jay and Laura advice, do it after he's eaten supper. Don't do it when he's hungry, because then he'll say, I'm hungry, that's why I'm angry. Do it when there's very little distraction, if any, like the kids are watching a movie or something. And just ask it in a way that's not condescending. Now, honey, what makes you angry? No, just say, honey, I've noticed you're angry and I want to help. What makes you angry?
Well, thank you for tuning in to Jay and Laura TV. We are Jay and Laura here to answer your questions about marriage and relationships, and we'll see you next week.